The Mediterranean sun bathed Monaco in gold as Ethan Cross stood on the balcony of his penthouse suite, whiskey in hand. Below, the city pulsed with life, billionaires sipping champagne, high rollers losing fortunes at the Grand Casino, and tourists marveling at the spectacle of wealth. Ethan wasn't here for the view. He was here for the Mirage Vault, the most secure underground vault in Europe, buried beneath the Monte Carlo casino. Inside, over $200 million in cash and diamonds waited behind layers of cutting-edge security. Unbreakable? No. Just untouched. The blueprint lay open on the glass table behind him. He'd studied every angle, every weakness. The vault could be breached. But only by the best. And Ethan knew exactly who he needed. Paris. A neon-lit bar, the kind where secrets were currency. Lena Vasquez barely glanced up from her laptop as Ethan slid into the seat across from her. The glow of cascading code reflected in her sharp eyes. "Still playing with fire?" he asked. She smirked. "Only when it pays well." Ethan placed a flash drive on the table. "The Mirage Vault. I need it open." Lena scoffed. "That place is a digital fortress. You'd need a retinal scan just to breathe near it. Can you do it?" She leaned back, studying him. 10 minutes. No more. He grinned. "That's all I need." Berlin. A dimly lit warehouse, the sound of fists against flesh. Victor Moreau stood in the center of a fight ring, sweat dripping, hands wrapped in bloodstained tape. His opponent lay unconscious at his feet. "Still breaking bones for sport?" Ethan asked from the shadows. Victor wiped his brow. "Depends. Who needs breaking?" Ethan handed him a cigar. "Not who. What?" "A vault door." Victor chuckled. "Sounds fun. Monte Carlo. A yacht party where the elite played." Jasmine Lee swirled champagne in her glass, draped in a designer dress that cost more than most people's homes. She spotted Ethan before he even reached her. "Ethan Cross," she said with a smirk. "Didn't expect to see you back in the game. One last job." "That's what they all say." $200 million. She raised an eyebrow. "When do we start?" Barcelona. A winding road along the cliffs, the roar of an engine slicing through the night. Marcus Kane drifted the Aston Martin around a tight curve, tires screeching. The Monaco skyline flickered in the distance. Ethan stood at the finish line as Marcus skidded to a stop, stepping out with a grin. "You want a driver?" Ethan tossed him the keys to a second car. "I want the best." Marcus twirled the keys between his fingers. "Then you came to the right guy." The team gathered in Ethan's suite, eyes locked on the blueprint spread across the table. "We hit the vault during the Grand Prix," Ethan explained. "Security will be stretched thin, distracted. That's our window." Lena traced a route with her finger. "I can loop the cameras, give us 10 minutes inside. No alarms, no alerts. After that, we're ghosts." Jasmine smirked. 10 minutes? More than enough. Victor cracked his knuckles. "And if things get messy?" Ethan didn't hesitate. "Then we adapt." Marcus leaned back. "And I get us the hell out of there." The night of the Grand Prix, Monaco pulsed with electricity. High above the city, Lena sat in a blacked-out van, fingers flying over the keyboard. "We're live. Security's blind. Go." Jasmine, wrapped in an evening gown, sauntered into the casino's VIP lounge, sliding onto a barstool beside Dante Rossi, the head of security. She brushed a hand over his arm, leaning in. "Tell me, Dante, what's the real secret behind this unbreakable vault?" Rossi chuckled, sipping his drink. "Even if someone got in, they'd need the CEO's retinal scan. No scan, no diamonds. Jasmine smiled. Good to know. Downstairs, Ethan and Victor, disguised as maintenance workers, slipped past a distracted guard and into the underground corridors. Ethan swiped a stolen keycard. The vault door slid open, revealing row after row of gleaming diamond cases. Victor set a timer. 10 minutes. They moved fast, filling bags with millions in jewels. Then, the unexpected happened. The alarms blared. Ethan's earpiece crackled. Lena. What happened? Rossi's onto us. He triggered a manual lockdown. Victor cursed. We need an exit, now. Jasmine, still upstairs, reacted fast. She spilled her drink on Rossi's tablet, short-circuiting the controls. In the vault, the doors partially unlocked, just enough for Ethan and Victor to slip out. Security guards stormed in, guns drawn. Outside, Marcus revved the Aston Martin. I see you. Get ready to jump. Ethan and Victor sprinted through the back corridors. Bullets flew. Glass shattered. The city blurred past as they leaped into the car. Marcus slammed the gas, the Aston Martin screeching onto the Grand Prix circuit itself, blending into the race. But something was off. The team regrouped at a safe house, adrenaline still pumping. Jasmine placed a suitcase on the table. Looking for this? Ethan narrowed his eyes. That's not funny, Jasmine. She smiled. Who's joking? The gun in her hand made it clear. You didn't think I'd share, did you? The room tensed. Ethan exhaled. Should have known you'd double-cross us. But before Jasmine could pull the trigger, bang. A single shot rang out. She collapsed, a smoking bullet wound in her chest. Standing behind her was Dante Rossi. Interpol sends its regards, he said. Ethan and the team were handcuffed, loaded into police cars. Rossi smirked. You almost pulled it off. But the house always wins. As the convoy drove away, Lena leaned toward Ethan. Did you do it? Ethan smiled. Because hidden inside his jacket was a single diamond, worth $10 million. The game wasn't over yet. The police convoy weaved through the neon-lit streets of Monaco, sirens wailing. Ethan sat cuffed in the back seat, his pulse steady. This wasn't the end, it was just another obstacle. Beside him, Lena whispered, "Tell me you have a plan." Ethan glanced at Victor, who gave the slightest nod. Marcus, in the other vehicle, smirked like he already knew. Of course Ethan had a plan. Dante Rossi rode in the lead car, checking his watch. He had just taken down one of the most elusive thieves in Europe. Interpol would make him a legend. Except Ethan Cross was never the one to go down easy. The moment they reached the bridge leading out of the city, Marcus made his move. A black SUV came out of nowhere, ramming into the lead car with bone-crushing force. Rossi's vehicle spun out, flipping over the guardrail and plummeting toward the water below. Chaos erupted. The second police car slammed on the brakes. Ethan didn't hesitate, he snapped his cuffs against the seat's edge, the pressure point trick he had learned in MI6. The metal snapped. Victor launched himself forward, headbutting the officer in the front seat. Lena ducked as a bullet shattered the window, barely missing her. Ethan reached for the downed officer's gun and fired 2 precise shots, taking out the tires of the nearest pursuing car. Then the doors flew open, and Marcus was there. Get in. They dove into the SUV, the tires screeching as they accelerated. Where's Rossi? Lena asked, breathless. Ethan didn't answer. He already knew. Rossi had survived. And he'd be coming for them. They abandoned the SUV at an old marina, swapping it for a speedboat. As the Monte Carlo skyline shrank behind them, Ethan finally exhaled. Victor unwrapped his bloodied knuckles. So what now? We just disappear? Lena leaned back, staring at the waves. We're broke, Ethan. We lost the score. Ethan smirked and reached into his jacket, revealing the $10 million diamond. It caught the moonlight, glistening like a promise. We lost most of it, he corrected. But not all. Marcus chuckled. That's why I never bet against you. Lena shook her head, laughing. We should be dead. Victor grinned. But we're not. Ethan turned to them. Which means we live to steal another day. The boat sliced through the dark waters, vanishing into the horizon. Somewhere in the depths of the Mediterranean, Dante Rossi clawed his way out of the wreckage, coughing up seawater. His eyes burned with fury. The speedboat cut through the Mediterranean, carrying Ethan and his crew toward temporary safety. But they all knew one thing: Dante Rossi wasn't dead. And he wasn't the type to forgive. Within 24 hours, their faces were plastered across Europe's Interpol most wanted list. Monaco was locked down, ports and airports crawling with agents. They were trapped. Ethan had one move left. Rossi wasn't just chasing them, he was after the diamond. And Ethan knew exactly how to use that against him. The team split up, laying low in a hidden estate outside Nice. Lena worked to erase their digital footprints, while Marcus arranged new identities and transport. But Ethan had something bigger in mind. We're not running, he said. We're going to bait Rossi into a game he can't win. The plan? Fake an auction. Ethan leaked a rumor that the stolen Mirage diamond would be sold in a private Monaco poker game attended by the underworld elite. If Rossi wanted the diamond, he'd have to come himself. And when he did, Ethan would turn the tables. The high-stakes poker game took place at a secluded Monaco estate. Crime lords, smugglers, and arms dealers filled the velvet-lined room. At the center of the table sat the Mirage diamond, gleaming under the chandelier. Rossi arrived in disguise, but Ethan had been waiting. The moment Rossi reached for the diamond, Lena killed the lights. Gunfire erupted. Shadows moved. Victor took down Rossi's bodyguards in seconds. Ethan grabbed the diamond and slipped into the tunnels below the estate, leading Rossi on a chase through the underground catacombs of Monaco. Rossi almost caught him, until Jasmine Lee reappeared. Alive. Holding a gun. You didn't think I'd die that easily, did you? She whispered, smirking. She pulled the trigger, but the bullet wasn't for Ethan. Rossi fell. Jasmine smiled. You're welcome. And then she was gone, disappearing into the night. With Rossi out of the picture, the team vanished into the chaos of Monaco's underworld. By sunrise, their names were erased from Interpol's system. By noon, Ethan was sipping whiskey in a private jet to Argentina. And by nightfall, the Mirage diamond had been sold for $50 million. Summary. After escaping Monaco, Ethan's crew is hunted by Interpol's Dante Rossi. To escape, they stage a fake auction to lure Rossi into a trap. At a high-stakes poker game, chaos erupts. Ethan and Rossi face off in Monaco's underground tunnels, until Jasmine Lee, thought to be dead, returns and takes Rossi out. The team vanishes, their records erased, and the Mirage diamond is sold for $50 million. Ethan walks away free, but with enemies still in the shadows.